Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Just want to hit you guys back up. Just want to definitely talk about a few things. Um, Definitely want to just share a few things that's kind of going on. Well, I talked about the tax, but there's also the Senate. You got used to be the governor, but I think his name is Rick Scott, and I think Bruin. They're both Republican. One I think from Wisconsin, I think the other one from Florida. They're kind of introducing the bill to Senate, and they're actually going to see if they can go through both the House and Senate. But they got a bill. What that means is they talk about most government officials they have government salary. That's set salaries, and they can't neither go up or nor go down. Even though some of them will vote themselves for a raise and stuff like that. And there were many times Congress actually voted on a raise to vote themselves for a raise. But this bill that they're proposing is supposed to be cancelifying the government base salaries, and they just basically they just use their own money. And most political officials are already millionaires. I think some of them, most of, if not all of them almost are somewhat millionaires, or they have a good amount of money that they actually earn. So what that bill would do is just eliminate all type of congressional salaries. It remove, like I said, like it's removing. They want to remove the donorship, so you can't. You could just, people could just, donate how much they want, and it is to the point it's becoming aristocracy and going towards almost feudalism. Now, capitalism, there's always a down group. To any success, there's always a down. But in the feudalism, there is no such thing. Everybody is almost made underclass, while the person or the merchant or the rich or the aristocrat are the ruling class. And that's pretty much what this bill is kind of inducing. It's because almost like an aristocrat. It's almost like aristocrat feudal system politics that they're trying to introduce. And I think that will cancel any movement, especially the American descendants of slave movement, and any other movement that's pushing for some type of redressing of distribution of wealth. That will cancel all that, because if politicians is using their own wealth to run for office, maintain office, and pass laws that benefit them, that cancel anything of wealth gap, redistribution of wealth, all that. And that's include reparation for Native Black Americans. So definitely want to put that out there. Also as well, I did a little bit of research, and I did a post on my Instagram also about the influence and the reach of slavery in America, in the United States. Now, actually, like I said, it's now a racial thing, because I told people. You had a guy named John Kaser, and you had a dude named Anthony Johnson, even though that's wasn't his real name. And he was actual African. He was an indentured African. John Kaser was also an African indentured servant as well. But the thing was, Anthony earned his freedom and became an investor and a farmer, and actually sued another farmer for John Kaser, and he claimed that John Kaser as life life servant for life. And I think the Supreme Court of Virginia Colony looked at the case, and they actually granted him the rights to be his master, and John Casey to be the first documented slave. Now were there slaves in the beginning of Jamestown found, and yeah, there were some African slaves and some African indentured servants with white indentured servants too. So it was always a plethora of mixing going on, but it wasn't just fully recognized in the colony. It wasn't even spread wide. It was basically in Virginia. But Virginia was the first state to usher the actual establishment of slavery in 1655. But like I said, the first slave and master relation was basic to black men. So that lets you know it's a racial caste system, but it's not founded on the principle of just race. Race is a concept that became a class structure that evolved into what you see of a race matter. But the establishment of slavery is very wide. You have people you had slave distribution in the from 1790 all the way to the 1860s. And basically the census wasn't really to keep track of the American population. It was actually to keep tabs on the slave population, and they started morphed into keeping tabs on the free black population. So that's where the census really came about. And on my Instagram page, you can follow me at Big Bird. You know, the distribution of slaves throughout the southern part of the United States was very wide, but it also trickled into Missouri, that was a slave state, but it trickled into some areas of Iowa, and it trickled in some areas of Delaware, and certain parts of Maryland, Delaware, and even to a certain degree, certain part into parts of Jersey, and stuff like that. So it was very spread. It wasn't in all the Midwest, or it wasn't all the Northeast, but it did cross those boundaries into those other regions beside the South. And also, even though there wasn't physical slavery, there was still business and revenues generated from slavery that did benefit the North in some instances. As people know, there were New England companies and families that actually owned slave ships. So they were in the logistic of transporting slaves. So you had a lot of things going on. Yes, you had Native American slaves. That was the United States at the time that was getting traded. But a lot of them was the population of the Native American slave is not significantly counting, but they could say it could be roughly 50,000 to maybe 100,000 Native American slaves that were in servitude here in the States, not just in the States, but in the colonial America as well. And like I said, a lot of the Native American slaves that actually did exist, they got transported into New Spain. That's present-day Mexico and Texas and all that area. But they got transported to New Spain, where a lot of Hispanic slave owners was benefited, and you had a lot that were transported also to that were also transported to as well. You had a lot that was also transported to Europe, and you had some that was even transported to Africa. To let you know of the magnitude of the magnitude of what was really going on during that slave trade. But yeah, yeah, just to let you know, like the massive slavery across the United States at that time was very massive. Was very massive, very profitable in some instances. So definitely an eye opener. I'll definitely get with you guys with another video when I can. And like I said, man, I'll see you guys real soon. All right, one.